2 races down and 2 races to go as we get ready to rock and roll into the final 2 races of this winter truck series season, Sim500. It is round number 3 of 4 to decide who will be the champion of the Transervice Winter Truck Series season. We welcome you in on this Sunday evening. I am the captain, Chris Scala, of course, ready to rock and roll on iRock TV. We're over there tonight, of course, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, and ready to rock and roll. As I mentioned, get ready for 140 laps of racing this evening in round number 3 from the Monster Mile virtually on iRacing. 79 degrees as usual, partly cloudy skies with a little bit of wind. It's the usual iRacing default weather. The one thing that is not default, as we always show you, is the track temp and stuff. And that is the reason why you see us in the middle of the broad daylight of Dover. There's the monster. Look at that track temp over there, 123 degrees. It's going to be a hot one here. It's going to be slick. Going to eat some tires. It's going to be a monster of a race, shall we say. Going to be a fun one. Let's take a look at the point standings, because we have had 2 wild card races and it has tightened everything up. Mojica, 2 races ago, had a 15-point lead on everyone. As you see, there are now 6 drivers less than 15 points from Pedro, and that, of course, is after 2 wild races at Bristol and Daytona. Mojica leads Mike Kelly by 2. Eric Arnold, who had a chance to be the point leader, but shortened himself on fuel before the final lap last week, so he had to pit with 1 lap to go in the race. He would be the point leader right now, arguably, if he didn't have that happen. He's 11 back, though. Bob Gillenwater only 11 back. Montesi, Dalton, Higman, Wetzel, all those guys within 20 points. Jimmy Coleman, he's still in this thing, and believe it or not, Tommy Ryan missed a playoff race. He is still in this thing. He's going to need some help, but he's still in it and has a chance to pull the comeback off, a la Jacksonville, shall we, when it's all said and done here this evening. 140 laps of racing. It'll be straight up as per usual. No bonus points involved when it comes to playoffs or anything like that. Just straight up 140 points, and we'll see who will be flying to Vegas and racing for a championship before we kick the season off in February. Of course, on Sunday with the Xfinity Series, and then Monday night, the return of the Cup Series. And both of them going to be here on the Captain Esports Network, so we appreciate that. So get ready to go to qualifying. Let's step away real quickly and come back, and we will get you qualifying and to the race here on the Captain Esports Network. We are here on iRock TV. If you're watching on Roku right now, or if you're on YouTube, or if you're watching us on Twitch or Facebook, we appreciate you joining us here at the Virtual Dover Motor Speedway on iRacing. You see a lot of the cars down on pit road, some cars out on track right now getting some laps in. Let's take a quick peek, shall we, at how the times look here on the board. From Dover, Tommy Ryan just went to the top at a 23:01 as practice laps going to be all said and done. We're going to have a nice, tight, looks like grid when we go to qualifying here in just about 2 seconds. And as per usual, down at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the qualifying mode show up on there, and you'll see basically all the times at the bottom. And it depends on who's the first one on track here. It looks like Chad Coleman will be that guy. And you'll see could be seeing the times under at the bottom. For some reason they're not showing up. There they are. So Chad Coleman, David Comstock, Mojica going to be out there. I think you're going to see a lot of people get out here early on the track and see what we got. But first, this A-Shock Toyota going to be on track. Let's actually grab Mojica here as he comes to the line, the playoff leader. Of course, if it's in green, that means he's running faster. If it's in purple, that means he's on pace for a pole lap. Down the back straightaway under the Ally Bridge into turn number 3. Right now showing Comstock to the pole, but this is where everybody's going to complete laps, and we'll see who goes to the top here real quickly. Comstock 23:20, Mojica 23:21. Bradford, Coleman, Campbell, Wetzel. Bradford 23:15, so they're about a 10th off right now for what they ran in practice. The track's getting hotter. John Higman second with an 18. Good lap on his part. Mojica went slower on his last lap. Let's find another playoff driver, Eric Arnold. He came ever so close to winning that race at Daytona last week. Unfortunately, his fuel fell up 1 lap short. Arnold crosses the line. He goes to 7th with a 23:22. Tommy Ryan to the top, 23:10. Good lap for the 99 and that Virginia 811 car or truck. Let's check out Mr. Pole Sitter this season, Tyler Dalton, see what he's on. You see E.J. O'Rourke down there at the bottom. He's in purple. And just as I say that, he goes P2 and then 11. Pretty much matches times with Tommy. Back to Tyler as he goes through 3 and 4. I don't see purple. I see green. I don't see the 19 anywhere on the timing and scoring. As a matter of fact, I got him in. He must have tagged the wall both laps because it did not count any of Tyler Dalton's laps. Yikes. Let's see. How about last week's winner, Joe Hudson? Check on the 18 truck here. He gets a little loose off 2, or the 15. It's actually the 18 truck, but he's wearing the 15 tonight. And he goes P9, 23:20. So a lot of times on top of another. You see that? 2 10s, a 15, a 16, 2 17s, an 18, a 19, 2 20s. And then look below that, 11th through 17th, all within 4 100ths of each other. So the time's right on top of another as Calatoni jumps to 11th. Got about a minute and a half still left of qualifying. Brian Wortman going to go out there on track. Let's see what the 74 truck's going to do outside of park it in turn 2. Tom Dreiling spun around over here in turn 2. So as you see, the monster's already biting. Doug Sigmund, Scott Simley, and Gerald Livingston, the only 3 who have not ran a lap. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers not run a second lap. And some people ran their fastest lap on their second lap. So you're seeing a mixed bag here on track. So, of course, they'll get done here in just a second. We'll talk to the pole sitter. And then we'll get ready to go racing here for 140 laps. Tom Dreiling into 7 tonight. Not sure. That's usually not his number. So somebody must have got his number tonight. Unless he changed it over, which is a possibility. I'm trying to remember what number Dreiling's usually in. 23, I think? So who's under 23 tonight? Not sure. But either way, we know who's on the pole tonight, and that is Tommy Ryan. What a lap for him in that 99 truck. Let's bring him up and have a quick word with the pole sitter this evening. Trying to get that first win, trying to make a comeback in the point standings. It's entirely possible, and I'm sure he is really motivated by if anybody watched that football game last night. with the Jacksonville comeback. But let's talk to the driver of this number 99 Virginia 811 truck, if I could find him in chat. He's hanging out somewhere. Troy Radford's there. John Boy's there. He might not even be in chat. Never mind. I guess I can't talk to him. Normally, Tommy Ryan's in Discord here, but not tonight. Either that, I'm blind. Yeah, that's entirely possible here. Yeah, he's not in here. So, oh well. Congratulations, Tommy. Let's I guess we won't talk to anybody. Warm-up's over. Let's go to the race itself here. Live TV, gotta love it. You can't get always what you want, right? As they say. As the iRacing pace car racks everyone up. So we look at the starting lineup. Tommy Ryan, as I mentioned, the Carolina driver, by 4/100ths gets the pole over, actually it's 4/1000ths, I should say, over E.J. O'Rourke. Troy Radford, Mike Kelly, they'll start in row number 2. Row 3, Nigel Standish and Derek Myers. Myers trying to get that first win. He's been an up-and-down driver this season. He's had his struggles, but had his good runs also. John Higman Jr., David Comstock there in row 4. Higman looking to bounce back after a rough Daytona, which technically everybody had one. Speaking of Daytona, there's your winner from Daytona. Joe Hudson, the 18 truck alongside Pedro Mojica. Anthony Calantoni, he'll start to the inside of the Rhinestone Cowboy. Glenn Campbell returns tonight. Good to see the 44 out on track. Bob Gillenwater, Eric Arnold in row number 7. Row 8, Jimmy Coleman, Steve Ritter. Row number 9, there is the probably happiest man in Georgia, or at least one of the happiest men in Georgia, Chad Coleman and Bobby Wetzel. Mark Creighton and Andrew Teff there in the 10th row. Row 11's where you see Ron Holyfield and Tom Dreiling. Jeff Ryan, Garrett Austin there in row number 12. Joe Hudson did not make the grid. Jeff Ryan, as I mentioned, Tyler Dalton back here in 25th. Might be his worst qualifying effort of the season. He'll start next to Scott Simley, Doug Sigmund, Gerald Livingston, and Brian Wortman. His traditional back of the field starts for that 74 truck. Have a quick pace lap here, as per usual. And we'll go 140 laps, 140 miles, straight up 1 mile oval. As we're 2 races away from the playoffs, concluding and a champion being crowned. But first, we got to get to Vegas. Tonight, we might see who the favorite is when it's all said and done. On a Sunday night, it's the Winter Truck Series. Transervice, the sponsor of the Sim500, and we're green from Dover as E.J. O'Rourke with a fantastic start on the outside. And our cameras tonight, as always, presented by TrackCams22.com. You can check them out online. They are on Facebook. They're also on the iRacing forums, but more importantly, TrackCams22.com is the website. Through 3 and 4, the personal comfort Chevrolet of E.J. O'Rourke leads lap 1. All the numbers in green. Those are the drivers that are eligible for the championship in the playoffs. As Comstock goes to the inside of Higman already. Next at pass 4 position. Bottom going to be the way to go until this track really rubbers up, and I think as the tires wear a little bit, as one truck smashes the wall back there, Jeff Ryan, he did more than kiss the wall, unfortunately, in that 3 truck. Monster already picking who he or she likes and who he or she doesn't like early in this race. Truck scatter out. You see John Higman there passing Troy Radford. There's the 58, the point leader, Pedro Mojica. Glenn Campbell there behind him. Pedro already up a spot so far in this race. check up there as I look up front. I see Tommy Ryan starting to put some pressure up on that 41. Dover, famous for its concrete track. Its elevation changes into the corner. You dive off, as they say, what is it, 2 stories into the corners. And you come back up out of the banking down the 9-degree front straightaway and 9-degree back straightaway. It is a self-cleaning track. It is one that you either love or you hate. And there's those quite rare few that love to hate it. Everybody pretty much single file throughout the field here. Checking on Tyler Dalton, already of 7 spots here in that 19 truck. Not used to starting where he started. E.J. O'Rourke continuing to lead here. 9 laps already in the books. Derek Myers up to the 4th position. Nigel Standish up to 5th. And Mojica making the pass on Radford for the 7th position. Make that 8th as he's going to bring Campbell with him. And right behind them both, that's the 84 of Catlin Tony. Appreciate the viewers who have joined us here tonight. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. You can also like us on Facebook or follow us there. Over on the Twitch account, of course. If you prefer watching us over there. Of course, it's a fixed setup series, so a lot of the trucks handling pretty solidly right now. It's where you're seeing a lot of these guys being able to kind of run with each other, not get away. As the Birdman joins us from Cali. Joe Petrick, everybody. So Joe Hudson has stayed on the lead lap after starting from the pits. He's 15 seconds back, so has a lot of work to do. If he wants to get up here and join this pack, he's going to need the help of something you don't normally see a lot of in this series. Yellows. I say that after the race from Daytona last week that had quite a few. These guys back here are having a hard time with this wall. Jeff Ryan scraped it up a couple times in that Kiss Mobile. I guess I saw Livingston maybe tattoo it a little bit. You see Wortman back there in the red truck, and there's Joe. You just saw him for a quick second. Hudson there coming out of turn 2. He is some 15 seconds back or so right now. The main talk you're going to hear everybody bring up is going to be tires. After a long run here, this track eats up right front tires like I eat pizza. Up front, Tommy's there within a 10th. You can get that nose out there in clean air a little bit. You see EJ sliding up the track just a little bit. That run could be there. Mike Kelly's rating to pounce if he's not able to. There, he got his nose in clean air. It's like he's listening to me or something. You See Mojica looking back there on Comstock for 7th right now, and he's going to make the pass according to timing and scoring. The points leader just matriculating his way through the field. Oh, up into the wall, Calantoni on the back straightaway. I think that's some kind of New York Giants paint scheme or something. I don't know. It's got New York colors. It says Giants on it, talking. I don't know if it's a podcast or something. They got something to talk about right now, apparently. Which they do, actually. On board with the 58 here. Lap time's already fallen off about a second and a half. 23:55, the fastest for Pedro. He ran a 68 last time by, a 24:68 that is. It was a good second off the pace. You hear him sending it pretty deep into the corner. And then just being very patient when he rolls it back to the throttle. You can hear the wheels almost spin going into the corner. Listen. Well, I never thought you could send it that deep with worn out tires at Dover. It must be something I don't know. Part of it's probably him going straight into the corner instead of turning in. He's kind of going straight in, trying to make the corner as short as possible. Yeah, a lot of smoke off turn 2 here. And up front, you see Tommy Ryan up ahead there. This is the part where if Tommy really wants to, he can almost diamond this track a little bit. He's got room behind him. Doesn't have any pressure at all. So if I'm Tommy, let that truck slide up a little bit through the corner and see if he can bring it back down off the mid-pack of the corner, what they call diamonding. But EJ is fighting him hard. EJ up the track. Tommy's there. Somebody's got a barbecue over in pit road right now. Not sure if crab cakes are a good choice to barbecue, but Bobby Wetzel on pit road. That's Wetzel. It's in the pits right now with the barbecue, unfortunately. See if I can find what happened to the 9 truck. Oh, he gets turned head first into the wall there. Looks like he was up against the outside wall and in some contact with he and Tom Dreiling. And no caution for it as we continue green. You just see how tough it is to pass. I mean, everybody's right down on the bottom right now. And Tommy's literally running the bottom. Just not able to get that run on the 41 and all. He's trying to get the 41 to make a mistake, but just not being successful at it right now. Check back here on a couple playoff drivers. Jimmy Coleman and Tyler Dalton, 14th and 15th right now. Here just ahead of Steve Ritter in the 16 truck. Eric Arnold back there in 17th right now. There's Jimmy. In the 54, Tyler Dalton in the 19. Probably working together right now, trying to work their way up through the field. 29 laps complete. Pit stop wise, you can go a good 70, 75, almost 80 laps on a tank of fuel here. I just don't know if those Goodyears are going to make it that far. Comstock under attack. Glenn Campbell looking to his low side. Campbell slides up and it gets the boot a little bit there. I don't think Comstock liked that move too much. One of those, sometimes you just got to take the position away. That's at a track like this. Bob Gillenwater there, 11th position in the Ford truck, right there behind Radford. I think Radford sliding up just a little bit here, probably bringing it back to the bottom. This track, built back in the 60s like most tracks were, that you see on the stock car side of things. It was repaved back in 1995. It used to be an all-asphalt track. Something tells me that part of the reason this track was repaved, as I've learned a lot about with these shorter high bank tracks, is the weight and the speed of these vehicles probably pulled up the asphalt at Dover, so they had to switch to concrete. Obviously, I can't confirm that story. I haven't read about it, but that's my guess, because a lot of tracks, Martinsville, Bristol, had surface issues from the vehicles just literally ripping up the surface. Comstock letting Gillenwater go by for position. Mojica continuing to make his march as he goes past Nigel Standish for position. You can see the different lines everybody's running. Pedro able to keep that truck right on the bottom. O'Rourke is starting to stretch it out a little bit. 0.3 of a second now, up to 0.4 over Tommy Ryan. You wonder if that dirty air kind of took up some of the tire wear of Tommy's and hurt him a little bit. The biggest movers so far through the field. That 14th position truck, that is the one. Tyler Dalton, who's up 11 positions right now. Pedro Mojica's up 5. Chad Coleman up 5. Scott Simley up 8. Yes, Joe Petrick, that same Scott Simley we raced with way on back in the day. In the 17th position. Bobby Wetzel fans, hate to break the bad news to you. He is on his way to the airport already, it looks like. Unfortunately, behind the wall for him. As Dalton comes in the back of Calantoni here. As Calantoni gets passed by Dalton, so Dalton continues to do a great job preserving that right front tire. Tell you one thing, with the updates that iRacing's came with recently, you definitely know when somebody's been in the wall or not now. Before we were like, did he get the wall? Now you see it, it looks like somebody's throwing powder or something in the air from wiping your hands before you hit the cue ball and pool. All right, Mike Kelly has made the pass on Tommy Ryan for the second position. So Tommy, his truck is just falling off the map here all of a sudden here. Let's watch the pass. As that Caterpillar Toyota just makes the move to the inside there. Tommy lets him go. And he's got somebody else visiting him now in the hands of Derek Myers in that 20 truck, the Transervice number 20. As he looks for that third position right now, and you see Mojica up to fifth now. I think what I'm seeing a lot of people doing right now that's causing issues is everyone's trying to make the entrance as wide as possible into the corners, and you're seeing them scrape the wall going in. You got to be very careful with that, though, because these trucks are very fragile. Fragile. I think Tommy's going to let Myers go on by here. So Derek Myers up to the fourth position. So if you're Tommy Ryan, I think you got to start wondering here, because that means if you're plowing tight right now, you've lost the setup in this truck. That means that right front is screaming at you right now. You might want to consider short pitting or something here. Here's the only issue. When asked any driver right now, what could be the toughest pit road to get onto in iRacing and in any type of racing? I'm pretty sure half of the field will say Dover, if not Darlington. And that's because you have to literally start braking from the Ally Bridge to make it to pit road. You see the line right there. There's the commitment line right there on the camera. And there you see the edge of pit road goes around that corner. It is one of the trickiest and toughest pit roads to go on. And the speed limit is 35 miles an hour because of how tight the pit road is. So when you're going 100 and an average lap around here right now, about 140 miles an hour, and your pit speed's 35, you're going to go at least 2 laps down on pit road. So that's the other catch-22 that you run into if you decide to short pit. If you do it, you're going to be faster than the field. However, you're going to be 2 laps down at the same time. And if a caution comes out, it's almost race over at that moment. As I say that, Eric Arnold, it's like he wasn't listening to me. Comes to pit road. Not that I would expect the drivers to be listening to me while they're driving. As Mojica makes the pass on Tommy Ryan, but that's a playoff driver in the pits here to 31. That right side's all scraped up. Overshoots his pit stall a little bit there. 4 tires and fuel here. They got 3 sets of tires to work with. Probably getting that damage fixed on the truck. A long stay on pit road here. Did he speed on pit road? That's another possibility here. Arnold's still in his stall. When that pit number changes to a number, that will be when he leaves. And a tough break for the playoff driver of the 31, I'm sorry. O'Rourke starting to put laps on cars. That is Teft in the 25 going a lap down. Andrew Teft, that is. About called him Matt for some reason. Coming up on Garrett Austin there in that 34 truck. And you see Mike Kelly only about 4/10 back now. And Jimmy Coleman to pit road in the 54. Of course, the infamous pit road incident you can think of here at Dover. You go back to Matt Kenseth. In the mid-2000s, he lost control of his car coming on the pit road here at Dover. And, well, he plowed into a tractor tire that was sitting at the end of pit road. Looks like Ron Holyfield's coming to pit road, Andrew Teft. So we're starting to see some drivers go ahead and come here at lap number 50. So that means for these guys, it's definitely going to be a 2-stop strategy. And what these guys need is for this race to stay green now. 14.9 for Jimmy Coleman. Good stop on his end. Glenn Campbell on pit road, so waiting to see what's going to happen here. And One thing we should talk about is that battle for the lead about to become 3 trucks as Mike Kelly's up here in second, about 2/10 back, and then Derek Myers is right there ready to pounce. And we shouldn't look back further, but we're going to. Pedro Mojica is only 2 seconds back from this battle. All right, so Jimmy Coleman back on track. He is over 2 laps down right now from the leader. The positive news of your Jimmy Coleman fans is he is all of over 2 seconds faster than the leader. So if there's any good thing here, that's why you want to keep this race green, because there's a couple positives that can come out of this when it comes to short pitting. Is you can obviously gain track position, 1. 2, you can obviously have that fresh set of tires to get you the track positions. So there's a couple of good news, but that bad news I mentioned earlier is you're ways back now. And look at this. They come up on the back of Jeff Ryan. Ryan does not give the guys the bottom, and that's going to cause some issues here. These guys on new tires, you see Tom Triling is in. They're going to feel like Superman out here on the track. Matter of fact, you're going to see your first one come into the picture here. It's the 25 of Teft. Right there, the 4th truck, that white truck that just came into the picture. He has got 4 tires. Let's watch him just come rocking in past the leaders here. As Mike Kelly gets around O'Rourke right there for the lead. Through 3 and 4, I saw Kelly make the move. I did not realize it was on O'Rourke, and it sure was. So the 2 truck to the lead, Derek Myers to second. Watch the pass again here. That was pretty wild. So I saw the 25 go to make the move, and all of a sudden the 41 slid up the track, and there goes Kelly. Great job by Andrew to be patient, to let these guys kind of settle it real quick before just making a diving move to go 3 wide or something with the leaders. So there you go. Mike Kelly in this Caterpillar Toyota leading here at Dover now. Mike taking that momentum from that race last week. He's right there with Mojica. Wants to pull the upset. Everybody thought Mojica, with the way he was winning earlier this season, would just run away with this. And after Bristol and after Daytona, it has been far from a given. As Comstock and Nigel Standish come to pit road. As EJ's up in the outside wall there on the front straightaway. Seven laps from halfway, or 8 laps from halfway this time by. This is where we got to be careful now. Those who have raced really hard for all 62 laps, those are going to be the guys that are going to be bringing the tire wear into play here. This is a track you do not want to blow a tire at. And the only way to blow a tire in iRacing is to wear it to its cord. When that right front says 0%, it's not good, because the meatball's following it. And what a meatball is on iRacing, if you don't know, that means you have to pit. Derek Myers now putting pressure on the 2 truck for the lead here. Something tells me O'Rourke's right front is about done for. I'm watching him lose almost tenths, if not half a second per lap now compared to the leaders. As Derek Myers slides to the inside, takes the lead. So just like that, a third lead change, and as Myers coming to pit road here, he drops to the bottom. That's usually the move here, unless he was trying to actually protect the bottom lane, which is interesting. For some reason, I'm not picking up the audio of the drivers on chat tonight. Oh, Ron Holyfield has brought out the caution. Turn number 2, and here's what I was just talking about. Thirteen trucks on the lead lap right now as the caution comes out for the first time at lap 66. While everybody groups back together, let's see what happens to the Coca-Cola number 11, Ron Holyfield here. Behind the 34, Garrett Austin. Oh, wow. Looks like just a checkup or something there. Maybe Austin. Let's see if we can get a better view of this. Looks like Austin maybe taking a defensive line off the corner. And Tommy had such a good run on Ron that Ron had to check up and Tommy ran him over. Surprisingly, no one else involved in this. All right, let's jump live here as everybody's on pit road here. I promise you, everybody's on pit road here. As Myers will win the race off pit road, Mike Kelly, Mojica will come out third. It looks like Jimmy Coleman is going to get the wave around here, so good break for the 54 truck. For everyone else, they're going to have to make the decision here. Either take a wave around and hope to God another caution comes out, or you go ahead and just kind of bite the bullet here and go take tires and hope you can get the lucky dog. All right, we're going to step away for a quick second while we're under caution. We'll come back as we're at the halfway point of the Transervice Winter Truck Series Sim500 here on the Captain Esports Network and iRock TV. Back here at the Dover Motor Speedway, Virtual and iRacing, race number 13 of the Transervice Winter Truck Series season. Race number 3 here of the playoffs, as we are just coming to halfway. And the first caution is out for Ron Holyfield. Unfortunately, getting some help, a little checkup on the back straightaway. Bringing out the first caution, as we should get one to go this time by. Derek Myers up front. Question going to be, who is going to take the wave around here? As I look up front, looks like Garrett Austin, Tommy Ryan, amongst at least 10 trucks. They're going to race their way back around. And Bobby Wetzel's in the grass over here. That's not good. Something happened to the 9 truck there. Appreciate everybody joining us here on the Captain Esports Network and on iRock TV. If you're new to the stream, hit that follow button, hit subscribe, whatever you like to hit that button. And we appreciate you joining us. It is our opportunity right now. I'm going to shut my mic off for a second and let you sit back and enjoy the sounds of Sim500 here on the Captain Esports Network. We like to call it Turn It Up. Uh-oh, trouble up ahead. I see one truck off the pace there. But caution has come out for the second time. And this is exactly what those drivers who just took the wave around needed. I do not see a cause for yellow here, so we'll have to investigate. Let's see if there was a spin somewhere. I did see one truck off the pace in turn 2. Let's see if we can spot the yellow. I see smoke. Did something happen to Mike Kelly in a 2 truck? Oh, netcode off Mojica. Turns him sideways. Brings the yellow. Nice save. But the caution comes out. It's all fun and games, so that netcode shows up. And that is going to bring those cars that just took wave rounds or lucky dogs to pit road. Jimmy Coleman, Brian Wortman, Glenn Campbell, Callan Tony, Comstock, all these guys back to pit road. Some of them going to get damaged, fixed. Let's talk to Derek Myers here in the 20 truck. Running in the lead right now as he started back in the 6th position up front right now. Derek, got a copy, buddy?
Got a copy.
All right, man. So you're running up front here. First question. I mean, I know you're not one that wants to kind of let out numbers and stuff here, but just for streamers, or not streamers, but my viewers and stuff, what was your right front tire at that last round?
A whole 22.
I was wondering. 22%, and you were able to take the lead there, man. How's the truck? I know it's tight out there, but how's the truck? Because you sat out there a little bit, kind of hung back a little bit from the leaders, and you were able to make those passes there towards the end of that run.
That's exactly what I did. I knew you don't want to abuse that tire early, and I have some notes in my notebook, and I remember this race about 4 months ago, and long runs were my forte, and I wanted to keep the clean air here, keep them behind me, but I don't want to have to run it too hard to burn the tires up, keeping them behind me. So if they want to abuse their stuff, I'll let them go, but I'm going to try to keep this clean air here because it's the best out front.
There's 29 trucks in this race right now, and you probably have the one guy out of 29 that will not allow you to do that behind you in Pedro Mojica. But needless to say, man, are we seeing this pretty much be a bottom-dominant race, or are you able to move that truck up the track a little bit to kind of dime in the corner? And do you think we even maybe see a middle or a second groove come in, or is it all bottom?
Yeah, I think you can go to the middle for sure, not the extreme outside line, but wherever you can find clean air for sure. Try to get that run. Yeah, Pedro, he ain't gonna make it easy on me. I know that, but I'm up for a challenge, and I think we have the truck and driver tonight to get it done.
All right, my man. Well, hey, best of luck here. Let's try to get that first win in this Truck Series season. I know it's been ups and downs for you this season, so let's get you a win here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Derek Myers, the leader here tonight. Appreciate his time. Move him down to the Sim500 Mafia channel where he's been hanging out. 22% on your right front tire. I mean, you're death gripping the wheel to get that thing to turn at that point. And more than likely, that 22% was on the inside shoulder of the truck. So it'd be if you separate the truck, basically, if you've not played iRacing or any kind of a sim game, the tires separated into thirds when it comes to temperature. There's always the inside shoulder, there's the middle, and then the outside. 99% sure that inside shoulder is where that 22% was, because 9 times out of 10, that is exactly where the wear is. So Myers, Mojica, Higman, Dalton, and Gillenwater, your top 5 for the top 5, all playoff drivers as we come off turn 4 and come to the green flag here, lap 77. After the second caution. And here we go. Good start there for Myers. Exactly what he needed to get that clean air. And you see Higman going to try to make that pass on Mojica for second. Look who's up to 4th. Tyler Dalton, who started in the back. And even better, look at the 11th position right now, right outside the top 10. It's where you see the winner from last week, Joe Hudson, who started on pit road earlier tonight. As Chad Coleman making a pass here on Troy Radford. Mike Kelly coming through the field also, maybe getting some of that damage fixed from that net code from the 58. Not sure if he even had any damage on that truck. Probably more damage to the tires, so he might be down to 1 set of tires here for the rest of this race. Unfortunately, iRacing, you're not able to put scuffs on. Though that would be an awesome idea. Mojica going back for second. Oh, one truck got the outside wall back there. Not sure who that was. I was going to say it was Eric Arnold, but Arnold's been off the track now for about 40 laps. It was back near Mark Creighton, I think. You know, it might have been that 08 or 09 truck of Standish. It sure was. Speaking of Pedro Mojica, just a weird, if you will, segue to Daniel Falkingham. Of course, you know Daniel, been arguably the best driver to come out of this series in history. Of course, he's getting ready for his first run in the Coke Series, I believe. And they had their big media day yesterday. So big shout out to him, big congrats to him. I know I've seen some video of him on social media, getting himself ready to rock and roll. So this is going to be the only broadcast you see this week of any kind of TV-like broadcast here on the Captain Esports Network as we get slowly back towards the racing season here in the month of February. You'll see the final race the final race next Sunday night here from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, virtually on iRacing. And after that, it's going to be some off time here. The only thing you'll see me on the track doing is racing, and that's because I got 2 leagues that I'm going to be racing in starting this coming Tuesday night, of course, at TI ARCA Series. We ran last week, but I got home so late I could not get a stream up and running. And then Wednesday, actually, the series I used to broadcast for 8 seasons, GLSR, somehow I was talked into racing it instead of broadcasting it, which that wasn't the plan at all. So I'll be in the truck come Wednesday night. So that'll be what you get to watch for the next little bit. And then, of course, as we get towards February, the Daytona 500 is going to be getting here, and that's when the series will be covered, which will be, of course, Sim500's Xfinity and Cup Series on Sunday and Monday nights, and then on Friday nights, the All-American ARCA Series. And then, of course, on Saturdays, I get the real job now coming into play, where I'll be doing articles and stuff for frontstretch.com, in case I've not announced that yet. I think I have. So the broadcasting part kind of lightens up a little bit, but you know what? I've got everything organized. We're going to be ready to go and rocking and rolling, and hopefully you guys will keep watching. As you see the 41 O'Rourke coming back through the field, bringing Chad Coleman with him inside of Gillenwater here for the 5th position there. Just over 50 laps to go this time by. Of course, we were covering VOR on Saturdays, but with the Motorsports Games situation with the open wheel cars, that eliminated that broadcast from happening on Saturdays, unfortunately. Check back here on Tommy Ryan's 16th position for the 99 truck. Of course, he made that early pit stop, and it has cost him all that track position, and now he's stuck back here. Not sure if he's on that same set of tires that he pitted with a little bit ago, but unfortunately for that 99, he's going to need some help to get himself a good top 10 run here and to get himself back in the running. Potentially, if he does have a shot anymore at that championship. Myers leading by a 10th right now. There's Mojica ready to pounce. You see Myers diamonding the corner. Pedro just being patient here, and that time Derek missed the bottom. That's not going to help him. Mike Kelly continuing to work through the field in that 2 truck. He's up to the 8th position. You see him right behind that 38 of Chad Coleman as he tries to work his way up. Jimmy Coleman there in 9th, right in front of Troy Radford as they go past Bobby Wetzel in that 9 truck, who's multiple laps down. Now Jimmy Coleman making the pass on the 2 trucks. So you wonder if Mike is maybe overcooked the tires a little bit there, getting kind of tight there, but Jimmy Coleman making a nice pass in that 54. He rides right behind the non-related Chad Coleman. You hear the different driving styles. Pedro, as we were on board with him a little bit ago, sending it down into the corner. You hear Jimmy backing off before the truck sets right here. Mojica continuing to put pressure on Myers. You got to ask the obvious question here. Is Myers backing up to the 20 truck, or to the 58 truck, and trying to save tires doing it, or is he racing as hard as he can? Because you see Higman is coming up behind Pedro, and you see Tyler Dalton behind him. So 4 trucks underneath a blanket almost here within a second. As we come to 40 laps to go next time by. One thing I do feel bad about, I've not had a chance really to promote it a lot, is the Cup Series, which of course is the Personal Comfort Winter Cup Series that has been going on Wednesday nights here. Of course, that is broadcasted over on OSR. Does Joe and those boys do a great job there as they're continuing to race for a championship belt, much like they are here in this Transervice Winter Truck Series. They just got done with their 7th race of the season last week, so they're a little bit behind. As you remember, Sunday nights started earlier because of the football schedule. Basically, that's why you saw the Xfinity Series got done quicker, so the Winter Series is a little ahead of the Cup Series. They're at Dover coming up here on the 18th, and lo and behold, the guy who won this past week, Jose Gonzalez. If you go back before the Christmas break, he got his first 2 wins in this series back-to-back. And here he now comes to Charlotte last week and wins that race on Wednesday night. So Jose Speedy Gonzalez, way to go there, buddy. And getting himself another win. They got 3 more races before their playoffs at Iowa on February the 8th. That, of course, is the Wednesday night series that they're running over there. And, of course, the GOAT Racing League is come on board with the merger with Sim500 and a great partnership there. It's where you're seeing a lot of new names here. They've got the schedules all being worked out. But you can check out Sim500 if you're interested. As we'll be rocking and rolling here in the very near future. As I look right now, qualifying in the duels coming up on February the 13th. According to the website and the schedule. That'll be the North Carolina 811 Cup Series returning on the Captain Esports Network. Looking forward to that. And Daytona on the 20th for the 500K, basically. And there's going to be some interesting things coming to the series that I won't spoil. We'll let that kind of come into play here when we get to next month in that. So that's going to be a lot of fun coming up in the near future. And then, as I mentioned, the Xfinity Series coming up. They'll get going on the 12th of February. That's Sunday night before the 500. So Myers continues to lead here by 0.2 of a second over Mojica. Higman there in third. Dalton still 0.7 back. They are all right there, but let's jump back to Mike Kelly in the 9th position. Because he's got some company there behind him in that battle. Is Calatoni and Troy Radford. 10th and 11th positions here as Kelly's fallen back to 9. Chad Coleman's right there now. Got 17 trucks on the lead lap. Brian Wortman the last one. Joe Hudson there in 16th, kind of struggling a little bit there. We ride with Calatoni as he's going to get to the inside of Kelly here. Not able to clear him. All right, so I think I know now. I think I'm putting 2 and 2 together here. The Talking Giants must be a podcast that is hosted by the John Boy Media Group, which is, you don't follow him on YouTube. He's a pretty funny guy when he comes to sports stuff. You ever watch his videos about, like, He breaks down all like the umpires throwing out people, coaches and players and stuff like that. Pretty funny stuff. Especially when he actually can read the lips of the umpires and the coaches and what they're actually saying. It's very entertaining. Bradford looking underneath Kelly. So you wonder if Mike has put a hurting on those tires. And if, am I seeing left front damage on that 2 truck? No, but I am seeing him immediately turn to the left here. Is he going to come to pit road? Nigel Standish has jumped to pit road. Not sure what happened to him. But here comes the 2 to pit road. And Mike actually jumped to his pit stall here, so not sure what's going on with Mike Kelly, but unfortunately he's taking his truck behind the wall. And that is going to put a hurting on the point standings for him. .27 laps to go. Myers leading by 0.3. Can he get that first win in the Transervice Winter Truck Series? Or is Mojica just kind of sitting back, ready to pounce? John Higman there in 3rd. And unfortunately, with the issues to Mike Kelly, that's going to, as I mentioned, open up this playoff a little bit and allow Mojica a little breathing room. To the rest of the field. .2 separating first and second. Then it's about 0.4 back to Higman. And then about 0.6 now back to Tyler Dalton. We're starting to fall into the clutches of E.J. O'Rourke there in that 41 truck. O'Rourke been running some of the fastest laps in the race here. Dover, one of those rare tracks as we talked about. It's rare about a lot of things, but one of the rare things is the transition in the corners and coming out of the corners, because most tracks do have a slight amount of banking coming down the straightaways. However, you don't have many tracks that literally climb out of the track and up onto the straightaway with the banking you have. And that's what makes Dover so unique. You know, what else makes it unique? Of course, it's all concrete. It's a self-cleaning track, 24 degrees of banking, one of the highest now in racing. Got a horse track on the inside. Got a monster, literally, named Miles. Calantoni looking inside Chad Coleman here for the 8th position. Coleman's going to fight him on that top side. As Andrew Teft has come to pit road. Not sure if that's a scheduled pit stop or not for that 25 truck. Tony's going to clear to 38-4 position. Here comes Radford into 94. Can they get around Chad Coleman, who obviously probably still in a pretty chipper mood after his dogs went and won that national title last week, had their celebration yesterday in Athens. Not sure if he was a part of that or there. I, for one, was not. I was probably one of the only people in this area that didn't go after the videos I saw of, like, who's all there. All these trucks right here, battle for position with 18 laps to go. Appreciate it by joining us on the Captain Esports Network. If you're, again, new to the channel, hit subscribe. If you're not, we appreciate you coming back. If you're watching us over on iRock TV, over on Roku, we appreciate you joining us there. And also, if you have a Roku, you can go download the iRock TV channel. If not, you can, of course, go to iRock-TV and sign up there and watch on the stream. Campbell under attack as Simley looks inside. There's Tommy Ryan behind him. Tommy up to 14th now. You wonder if he saved his tires a little bit better than he did in that opening run of the race. Not missing anything up front. The lead is actually stretched out to 0.4 of a second from Myers to Mojica. 3 wide. Coming out of turn 4. Yikes, I was going to say. That's something you don't do at Dover. Cooler heads prevailed in that, it looks like. I mean, the track's plenty wide enough through the middle of the corner. The problem is it kind of narrows up coming out of the corner. As Ryan going to get around Campbell here for the 13th position. Make that 12th now. With 14 laps to go. And let's see the separation. There's Myers, there's Mojica, there's Higman. And then Tyler Dalton has fallen into the clutches of E.J. O'Rourke and Bob Gillenwater. And that's the lap truck of Andrew Teft, who's got fresh tires going around. Two cautions so far in this race. Of course, the first caution right in the middle of a pit stop cycle. Kind of shuffled the field up a little bit, and then we had a caution immediately afterwards, which helped get most of those guys back on the lead lap, but still kind of killed their track position when it was all said and done. And now with 12 laps to go, Derek Myers pulling away to 0.6 of a second now over Mojica. He's done exactly what he said he needed to do. I'm going to say one of the cooler things you get in racing sometimes is to see the title sponsor of the series or even a race go to victory lane in a race. That's going to make the sponsor happy. And if Myers can complete these last 9 miles, and he'll do just that with the Transervice sponsorship on that truck. As Dalton and O'Rourke kind of calm down here for a second. Troy Radford putting pressure on Jimmy Coleman for the 8th position here. And then back at 13th, Joe Hudson underneath of Chad Coleman here. So Joe has saved those tires up a little bit and has brought them to life. And now Joe up to the 13th position. Now, here is the very weird part about how this season has gone so far. Of course, it began with Pedro Mojica literally, well, let's back it up a step. It began in Atlanta with Brian Wortman going to victory lane in one of the biggest upsets in series history. Then Pedro Mojica went on a just tangent of wins. Then we got to the 2 races before the winter break, and Jose Gonzalez going back-to-back and winning as we went into the Christmas break. From that point forward, we are looking at a streak right now where the non-playoff drivers have been kind of dominating the series. How weird that sounds. But as we look up there at the top of the grid, there's a non-playoff driver leading this race as we come to 5 laps to go. The last time a playoff series driver won in this series was all the way back at Michigan on November 27th. So we're looking at, what, 8 weeks ago? The Saturday after, or the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Saw Pedro Mojica win at Michigan. And now, Derek Myers is coming to 3 laps to go, this time by. And Mojica's starting to fall into the clutches of John Higman. I know exactly what Myers is thinking right now in his head as he comes to 2 laps to go. As he pulls away, he's thinking, please don't, please no, please no, please no. He just wants to see the white flag here in about 3/4 of a mile. He's got 1.1 seconds as he comes out of turn 4, and the white flag waves, final lap. The Transervice Chevrolet leading in the Transervice Winter Truck Series. He's had some up and down luck. He's had some issues in the series, but in the end, there's one thing that will not stop him, and that is a win at Dover, as he will become the 6th winner so far of the season, and another non-playoff driver winning as Myers wins at Dover. Mojica, Higman, Dalton, and O'Rourke, your top 5. The positive here, if you're Pedro Mojica, is you were the best finishing playoff driver, so you're going to extend your lead a little bit. And with the issues for Mike Kelly, it's going to come down to now pretty much a top 10 finish from Pedro will get him the championship next week in Vegas. Oh, he pulled a Greg Biffle. Congratulations to the 20 truck. I was going to really be impressed if he could spin this thing on the pit road, but he's having all kinds of issues with the wall. Let's take a look at the final results here. As Myers wins it by 1.3 seconds over Pedro Mojica. John Higman, another top 3 finish for him. Tyler Dalton and E.J. O'Rourke finished 5th. Gillenwater, Calantoni, Tommy Ryan comes back to finish 8th. Troy Radford and Steve Ritter get top 10 for the 16 truck. Scott Simley finishes 11th with Joe Hudson. Jimmy Coleman finishing 13th. Glenn Campbell and Chad Coleman finishing 15th. Brian Wortman, a 16th place finish for him. David Comstock, Gerald Livingston finishing in the 18th position. The rest of the field, 19th It goes to Mark Creighton, Andrew Teff 20th, Doug Sigmund 21st, Jeff Ryan, Garrett Austin 23rd, with Ron Holyfield, Tom Dreiling, and Mike Kelly finishing 26th. Nigel Standish, Bobby Wetzel, and Eric Arnold going to be the 29 finishers tonight in this race. And unfortunately for Mike and Eric, taking pretty big hits in the playoff points tonight. Looks like they'll be out, and hate to say for Tommy Ryan, looks like he'll be eliminated, and should be down to about 5 or 6 drivers with a chance to catch Pedro. But Pedro looking pretty good right now. And if we get the standings, I'll get them to you here. At least let's just hear about them here before we get off of the air. Let's bring our third place driver up and talk to John Higman. Another great finish there for that 60 truck at the Virtual Dover Motor Speedway. John, congratulations, man. Another top 3 finish. Great run for you as you just continue to carry this momentum here in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot better finish than last week.
We bet. Yeah, Daytona, I think, was one of those a lot of people want to race, but still, way to bounce back here tonight. Talk about the race.
It's good. I just tried to stay consistent and save some tire. Tires actually seemed like a pretty big deal. Like, you could actually blow a tire.
Yep.
So
that
was
does
kind
happen.
of exciting.
That does happen. What kind of tires numbers were you seeing there? Because obviously we had that run that went nearly halfway. What kind of numbers were you seeing on your right front?
At the end of that run, when I made my pit stop, my right front was at 15.
Yikes!
So, yeah, but I would have made it to halfway, which is all I was trying to do.
Right.
This run was actually a lot better. I was like 30.
Well, talk about that run, because it looked like the 4 of you, Myers and Mohican and yourself and Dalton, were kind of under a blanket. What was missing? Was it just track position you couldn't get, or were you settled there for third? What was missing?
Yeah, pretty much track position. I feel like I was faster than Pedro there, especially at probably the last 10 laps. But lap cars were kind of interesting. I had a couple little close calls with them, so yeah, it was definitely interesting.
Well, you did a great job tonight, man, as you continue that momentum. I know you're going to need a little help next week if you're going to get a chance to get this championship. So what are we just doing? Going to Vegas and winning it? Is that pretty much what we're looking at?
Yeah, that'd be great. I was hoping I could win this one. Dover's usually one of my best tracks, but I'll still take a third.
Absolutely, man. Well, send a shout out whoever you like to.
Like to thank my mom and dad. This is actually my mom's first race she's ever watched me, so
Nice.
I think she brought me a little good luck today. And like to thank Sim500 for putting this thing on, and Transervice, and you at Captain Esports Network.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Hi, Mom, for watching. Thank you. And we shall talk next week from Vegas.
All right, see you then.
All right, sounds good, buddy. As John Higman Jr. finishing in the 3rd position, and a good night for him at Dover. Let's get him back to his channel, and we'll go get our 2nd place finisher tonight, that being Pedro Mojica. Here goes John. And here comes Pedro. Pedro, we just seem to be at this moment here, Pedro, as you come to a 2nd place finish. Unfortunately, falling up a little bit short here to Derek. Before we talk about the big deal, let's talk a little bit about the race. What was missing?
Clean air.
It's a pretty simple way of putting it there, man. Obviously, the battle for you started about the 10th position, I believe it was. 10, yeah, that's 10th. And obviously, slowly worked your way up through the field. You definitely had a good long-run car when it was all said and done. Still a great finish after what's happened the last couple weeks.
Yeah, no, for sure. I shot myself in the foot again in qualifying. It's 3 weeks in a row, honestly, which is inexcusable. So I was pretty disappointed about that, because I knew like track position was going to be huge. So like I had to dig myself out of a hole to get to where I finished tonight. But it's just rough. Like, the dirty air is so bad in this game, and the trucks, like, they have no horsepower, so there's no way you can really set up a run. You're just kind of stuck. So restarts are really big, so if you get any kind of run on a person, you got to take it, because you may not ever get that run again. So yeah, it was tough, man. like I'm happy we got a good finish and didn't get taken out in some nonsense like we did at Daytona. Um, and we're on the same strategy to give us a chance. Unlike Bristol, we were not on the right strategy, and that's why we didn't win. But yeah, man, the clean air was just king. I couldn't really do anything with Derek. If I didn't get him in the first couple laps, it was over. So yeah, so I mean, overall though, it was a good race. Able to climb up and get up to the front to at least battle for a win.
And it looks like, from what I'm seeing here, you extend your points battle to 15 going to Vegas next week. So obviously, they're going to need a little help to catch you. So here we are again in January, potentially talking about a Sunday night championship here for you. So obviously, I know you want to go win that race, but is it more just trying to go out there and just get a top 10 finish, it looks like?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's just make sure not to put myself in a bad situation or get wrecked or do something, get in, something stupid happen like what happened at Daytona. Um, so yeah, it's gonna have to be a little bit smart. I want to go out and win. Vegas is one of my favorite tracks. I love that track. Um, so I expect to be running up front. But yeah, if I don't want to get in a situation like
Right.
I did with Mike tonight where netcode took control. Went back and looked at that. I feel really bad for Mike. I don't come out here to wreck people. I want to have a clean race with everybody and a clean championship run with everybody. So, we were racing hard. Like I mentioned, clean air was at a premium. So any little run we got, I try to go for it. And I mean, Mike entered just high enough to where we shouldn't have made contact. But unfortunately, the netcode gods were not on his side. So I just still sorry to him. It sucks. Like I don't like racing like that, and I'm sorry to him. Just sucks that sometimes the net code it comes into play and affects a race or a championship.
And of course, out of
So
the two drivers that it affects, it's the 2 points leaders at that time. So it's really kind of
yeah,
a stinky deal there, man. Well, great
yeah.
job.
So
But no, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But hey, man, nice job tonight. Send some shout outs.
no, Chris, thank you, Captain Esport, for putting on the broadcast. Thanks for Transervice for sponsoring the Winter Truck Series on Sundays. Been a lot of fun. So looking forward to closing out the last race, hopefully with a championship belt. Derek Myers, congrats to him for winning the race. He did a good job. He's pretty good here. So the fact that we gave him a little bit of run for his money, pretty proud of that. All the admins, Sim500, appreciate what they do. And all the guys at Team Name, appreciate them and, helping me through this playoff so far. And the family, shout out to the family for letting me come down and have a little fun.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job, and congratulations on your second place finish. You got a 15-point lead going to Vegas next week, and let's see if we can go gamble and just win a championship. How's that?
That sounds good, Chris. Hopefully
buddy.
hopefully we celebrate, bud.
Hey, it sounds good, man. Good job. Pedro Mojica
Hey.
finishing in the second position for him. And the only thing that waits him now is another championship in Sim500 next week in Vegas. But the driver in victory lane tonight, we could easily say might have been a driver that we could predict would be the next one to go to victory lane. He had so many good runs. I could think back to Atlanta, amongst other tracks, that he was up there in the running and has had his ups and downs throughout. But tonight he took care of those tires and had the clean air that he said he needed and took the Transervice truck to victory lane in the Transervice Winter Truck Series. Derek Myers, congratulations. You are ready for this one? You're the fifth straight non-playoff win for non-playoff drivers, and also the sixth winner, I should say, of this season.
Wow, those are some stats I didn't know about.
Right?
I'm happy to add to it, though. It's about time we got on the board. What most people probably don't know is my throttle on my Fanatec pedals, like the third, fourth race into the season, just snapped, broke while I was racing. And it took me a few weeks to get some new pedals, and I got some club sports. And then my steering wheel broke, and then that's why I missed a lot of races. And I was up there in the points before that. It'd be nice to be in the playoffs, but we went out here tonight with one goal, and that was to win. And I knew this track and this truck was going to suit my racing style with all the notes I had in the past, and that's what we did.
Well, obviously you did your part here this evening. Talk about those last couple of laps, because I'm pretty sure the one thing, I didn't want to say it over the air. I said there was one thing he didn't want, but I'm pretty sure inside your head was like, no yellows, please. No yellows, please.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I was praying. I was just keeping Pedro at bay. I wasn't going 100%. I was still saving a little tire. Just looking at the lap times, I didn't want him to get a good run on me because of me saving, and just kept him at bay. And there towards the end, started pulling away a tenth or two, a lap, and it worked out.
It did work out for you. And side note here, kind of, I guess, trying to be funny on my end. I noticed the hometown being Springfield, Missouri. How close are you to the Simpsons?
I think that's Springfield, Illinois, but
No.
no, you should come. Have you ever been to Springfield, Missouri?
I've never. Well, let's see. The only time I've ever been through Missouri. Yeah. But duh, I went to a Kansas City Chief game once. No, I have not
They're
been
awesome.
through Springfield.
Oh, well, there's not much here, but if you ever come down, let me know.
All right, sounds good. So it's pretty much like everything else west of Illinois, or west of Chicago.
Right.
Gotcha. Makes sense. But hey,
Right.
man, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on that, and shouts whoever you like to.
Shout out to everyone at Sim500. Shout out to Transervice for sponsoring the league. Happy to represent them on my truck and take them to victory lane. Also, thank you, Chris, at Captain Esports for putting on the broadcast. This will be one that'll be fun to go watch back.
Absolutely, man. Well, enjoy it. Go celebrate the win. You got the momentum going to Vegas next week, and maybe we'll go 2 for 2 here to finish it out.
That's what we're going to try to do. Wins.
There you go. That's all you can do, man. Nice job. Derek Myers, the winner tonight here at the Dover Motor Speedway, and I'm literally beating myself up right now. I cannot believe I got Missouri mixed up with Illinois. How did I do that? Sigh. Anyways, all right. Congratulations to Derek. Congratulations to everybody in the field here. A great race tonight at Dover. It leaves one left in the Truck Series, and that comes next week. Of course, at Las Vegas Motor Speedway virtually. We'll be here at 8:45. Of course, as usual, over on iRock TV and on the Captain Esports Network. We invite everybody to come join us for the last Winter Truck Series before we get ready to go to Daytona and rock and roll for the 2023 season. Looking forward to seeing the cars on the track and getting to the real fun part of Sim500. It's not taking anything away from the Winter Series. This is more of a, if you will, laid back time as we go through the off season and then get going on track for the full season of races coming up here in February. So obviously looking forward to that time to get here. So next time you'll see us on the air will be next Sunday night. If you want to come watch me race this week, you'll see me Tuesday and Wednesday. Otherwise, we're going to sit back and just continue through January here and try to stay warm and go from there. But with that being said, appreciate everybody from iRock TV for allowing us to broadcast over on their channel. Appreciate the drivers, appreciate the viewers, and appreciate everybody, whoever I haven't said I appreciate. We appreciate you too. And remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!